Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. Hope you guys are doing well. We have a strong and shallow 6.6 quake that hits near the coast of Crete in Greece. And this is out of the Watchers. And we see this struck at a depth of 6.2 miles. And this one was followed by several aftershocks, as we're going to take a look at. There are 32,000 people that live within 100 kilometers of the area. Almost 500,000 people are estimated to have felt some shaking from this one. USGS issued a green alert for shaking-related fatalities and economic losses. There is a low likelihood of casualties and damage. And that's very, very good. And also no reports of tsunami as well. This is definitely an earthquake-prone area. We've seen a lot of earthquakes in this area, and often, too, the structures in this area can be prone to heavy damage, but thankfully not so bad. It was actually felt all the way in Israel as well. So we do have a 5.4 quake that hits Puerto Rico. As we know, there's been a lot of swarming going on for months now off of Ponce on the south coast. And this one knocked out power, caused widespread damage just an hour before the 6.6 hit in Greece. So this one damaged buildings, cracked homes, and even disrupted power across the area. And you still got people in shelters from previous quakes earlier this year. And then we had the hurricane from a couple years back that did so much damage to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico's been reeling in many ways, economically as well. And of course, we all everyone on this globe is in the lockdown as well. And let's take a peek at the aftershocks that we see. First, let's jump over here. So we can see we're looking at 32 quakes in the area, and you see most of them are centered right here, southwest of Ponce. Beautiful. I've gone over the entire island, and particularly like the west coast out here by Rincon. It's just a beautiful island, beautiful people, and it's gone through a lot. And if we take a look over to the Mediterranean, and we see the quake in Greece, and we see 8 total, so we got 7 aftershocks. And it looks like the biggest ones are about a 5.4 and 5.3 here. And you see how the plate goes. So right in that area where the plate is going. And, the rest of them are pretty much the same as we've seen before. Here's a quake in Chapin, South Carolina. I used to live in the area over there. So that's a little bit rare, but you do see them. And we see another one off over here as well, 6 kilometers east of Tryon, Georgia. Things are waking up, guys. Things are waking up. Tons going on Ridgecrest as usual. We still have the swarm going on in Idaho. Quiet at the moment in Salt Lake City. And, even though they might not be pumping a lot of oil out of the ground, the fracking has done its damage in Oklahoma and also in Texas. But we always see quakes in Oklahoma now, which, used to be an oddity. So we have strange sounds, more strange sounds. Lakewood, Colorado. There's been all sorts of strange sounds. And so many of these things, and I'll let you guys play this so we don't get a copyright infringement. A lot of them sound an awful lot like gigantic ships in the sky, almost like boats, rubbing up against a mooring or something like that. Kind of a crazy sound. Makes you wonder about, things that are cloaked in the skies. So we have a dam breach, forces evacuation in Uzbekistan. Thousands of people had to be evacuated, more than 70,000. After this dam broke over here and flooded. So many areas across the globe are experiencing this. And as we had said, some areas eventually might be just kind of permanently underwater and have to be abandoned, or you're going to have absolutely massive public works going on. And yet more fireballs. We have a bright fireball. This one streaked across the French Antilles. As you see it going through the sky here, a lot of people's security cameras catching them. And it's this down here that's flashing. So you see this area. Beautiful, beautiful area. People saw it all the way from the British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, Antigua, Barbuda, Guadalupe. Gorgeous area. Beautiful part of the world. Severe hailstorms, we've had these in so many areas. India once again destroying homes and crops. 795 houses were damaged, and also 618,000 acres of crops. And, the global famine is definitely looming as more and more things are just adding to it every day. Melbourne records the wettest April since 1960 in Australia. They also had an awful lot of cold, as we see records tumbling as a cold blast sweeps across Australia. Records always falling. So tsunamis and earthquakes affect the very top of Earth's atmosphere as well. When the Earth trembles, even the edge of space moves. Researchers have known for decades that earthquakes and tsunamis sent waves of air pressure to the very top of Earth's atmosphere, up there in the ionosphere. The waves scrambled GPS signals, interfere with radio communications, much like solar flares do. Earthquakes, it turns out, can mimic space weather. A new scientific study shows that earthquakes and tsunamis may affect the ionosphere much more than previously thought. So, pretty interesting stuff that we're seeing, and we have hundreds of towering hydrothermal chimneys belching superheated liquid warmed by magma discovered on seafloor off of Washington. We've been talking about the Juan de Fuca area. That's the subduction zone. Cascadia, this is the one that we've really been watching. So these towers are situated in the Endeavour segment of the Juan de Fuca Ridge, an active volcanic area far off the coast of the Pacific Northwest, and they're belching superheated liquid warmed by magma deep inside the Earth. The Earth changes are well underway, and right away this gets me thinking of will we see new land masses at some point in time, as has been prophesized by multiple sources. And, will we see Atlantis rise again, Lemuria, some new land? If we looked at the prophecies of Mother Shipton, for instance, and she says that when all is said and done, the areas we're going to be inhabiting are going to be basically new areas that form during the Earth changes. How long will that take? Will that be in our lifetime? Do you guys think it's going to be in our lifetime that we'll see all those Earth changes, or you think it's going to be over hundreds of years? Or what's Cindy think here?
I'm gonna guess it's gonna be in our lifetime. We're gonna see something curious in our lifetime.
And we have so many things going on. Obviously, intense rains, powerful winds, sandstorms over in Qatar, as we see just everything kind of devastated there. We've seen massive sandstorms. We've seen massive floods out in the desert. It's the new normal now, and that's what we have. And unfortunately, we also have more and more birds dropping out of the sky. These are lorikeets in Australia. So the question is it a new virus spreading at an alarming rate? What's going on with the birds? So lorikeet paralysis syndrome has killed hundreds of birds in Australia. Experts say the disease spreads when the birds gather in large numbers, paralyzes the birds till they suffocate or are eaten by ants or predators. And they warn people not to feed the birds to slow the spread of the virus. It's just another one. And there's been so much of this going on all across the globe. Very, very sad. Cute little birds. Thank you guys so much for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. As always, like, share, subscribe. Stay safe, stay prepared out there. God bless, and namaste.